Welcome to the Your Opinion Doesn't Matter podcast. We are here. I am one of the hosts, Mr. Lamont, and my co-host to my left, Sherry. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, Sherry Berry.
Sherry Berry. Damn, I'm always messing up. And we have none other. You changed his name. Did you change your name for this episode?
It's always been like an AKA, so
Okay.
It's always been there, but I'm just incorporating into the podcast. You get me?
Okay, what is it? Black Jesus.
Black Jesus, baby.
Right. So, okay, now, the last time we recorded, we were still in the mix of summertime, right? As things have started to enter towards school time, one big thing that's been going on was Labor Day. How was Labor Day for y'all?
As for me, it was a pretty nice, basic Labor Day for me. I didn't do too much as opposed to when I was younger. I'm a little older now, so I try to portion out the festivities because I don't really have the energy like I used to back in the days to do it for like 3-4 nights. I remember back in the days you would start from like the week before, and as it got closer, it would be a snowball effect. But now it's kind of like the opposite. I might start out hard, but by the time Labor Day get there, I'm pretty much pooped out now. You know what I'm saying?
Jeez.
Wow.
How about you? How was your Labor Day?
It was great. Age ain't have nothing to do with me. I was outside.
You was outside.
I was outside. I partied
Right.
from Thursday till Monday, and I had a good time, and it was nice. I just went to I was actually party hopping from one event to the next. A lot of big shows and stuff. So I enjoy that portion, going to see all the, soca singers and just enjoying that scenery. It was good. It was good.
Oh, okay, well.
I had to take vacation that same week because, the hip had to sit down for a minute.
Had to put the hip on ice.
Yes, a little bit, but I had a good time. I had a good time.
Well, me, I was living vicariously through y'all, through text.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, man. Not right now, not right now, mine. I'm, a little later on, tomorrow. I'm recovering right now.
Yeah.
I said, damn, man, y'all having fun, man. But listen, I partied enough, man.
A lifetime, right?
I partied enough. So, I'm just, I'm happy we still have it, the carnival, man. Before they was trying to close it down for a little bit, right? It's like confined now, right? You can't go from here to here, or how is it now on the Parkway?
Well, I went to Juve, and I had a good time in Juve. However, I felt like this year wasn't as good as the other years that I went.
Okay.
I felt like Juve was a lot more of the younger crowd, and I don't think that they really grasped the concept of Juve. That's just, my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
It was just out there like, catch a wine. And there's like a little bit more to it than that. And I felt like the police was just too much, and I know I ran up on an officer and we was talking and she was like, I'm not trying to make it difficult, but I was trying to explain to her that it is kind of difficult and it makes the crowd get a little aroused because it's like you can't walk here, you can't walk there. The trucks cannot play the music at this point to that point. And I think at this point that the community know what this whole festival is about and what it is. So it's like it's once a year that you get music at all hours. It's not something that happens all through the year. So
Right.
I feel like at that point they should know what it is at this
and
point.
give us a pass. Right.
Yeah, give us a pass because any other events that come up, you guys just do what you got to do. And I felt like, don't walk here. You got to get scanned as soon as you enter Bedford Avenue. You had to get scanned.
Oh, for real?
You had to check your bag. If you walked out, you had to walk back in. And it just made it like more of an uncomfortable situation.
Wow.
And I felt like it showed because usually when you get by Empire, it's like a whole bunch of people outside. I didn't see that many people, older heads outside, watching it and, enjoying it as much as the years has been. So I felt like it kind of like took away a lot from what it was, I think.
Nice.
Yeah, and I feel the same about the parade. I mean, I gave up the parade maybe 8 to 10 years now, and the main reason was the restrictions. Because I remember
it's a big deal.
Yeah, in the 80s and the 90s, it was pretty loose and unrestricted, and he was able to like vibe out and have fun. But now there's so much restrictions where you can't even participate when the band is going by. You can't really participate. You're restricted from, going behind, walk with the band,
Yeah.
busting the wine, things of that sort. You can't even do that anymore. You pretty much have to be a spectator.
Sure.
And that takes away from what I remember.
And it takes away from the culture. And unfortunately, there was a shooting. And the shooting happened, I think, like at Franklin Avenue or something. And then there was controversy online that people were saying, like, you know what, cancel the parade, cancel the parade. And my thought on that is, well, then you have to cancel everything else. You have to cancel schools. You have to cancel, mass on a Sunday. You got a supermarket. You got to cancel debates. You got to cancel everything because the problem is not the parade. The issue is gun control.
Right.
And the fact that, people get, charged with minimal for everything. Like a year in jail, you got a gun, that's it. That's nothing. That's a slap on the wrist. So you can't say cancel the parade. It's unfortunate and no one comes outside, to have these things happen. And it's unfortunate that it does happen. But I think we have to find a different way or don't analyze us and say, West Indian Day Parade, oh, there's violence, or paint us as the picture of a violent people, and this is what we do, and this is, and that's how the news, unfortunately, in the media does portray us.
Yeah, in actual reality, the violence on Labor Day Eastern Parkway has nothing to do with the parade.
Absolutely.
It's usually, I'm going to keep it 100, it's usually gang violence. And it's usually an opportunity for certain gang members to spot their enemies or their ops, because everybody's
there's so
outside.
many people outside,
And they take the opportunity.
It's been going like that for years. Yeah.
Yes, so it actually has nothing to do. It's just an opportunity to catch up to your ops or your enemies or things of that
or
sort.
whatever your situation.
Yes.
And it's insulting to incorporate that with us. I feel like, the West Indian Day Parade, and this is in the West Indian, and it's like, if anyone knows West Indian people, what do we love to do? We love to drink rum.
And party.
We like to party.
Yeah.
That's what it is. We love to party with no restrictions, and we love to drink rum. And that's what West Indians,
And
do.
rarely any violence.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're not about that.
It's far from any violence that's actually come from West Indians. That's
No.
Exactly.
No.
West Indians don't really be sparking it off.
No.
Nope.
They'll finish it, but they ain't gonna spark it off.
Yeah.
But But yeah, man. So I'm glad everybody, glad y'all had a great time. Great time. And then we just was talking about the history, our history with the Parkway.
So, after having a great weekend and we're back to work full time on the train and doing all the things, I just wanted to touch on some other things that kind of like touch me in different ways. And, I don't know how you gentlemen feel about, being in a relationship or married, and your partner has children that was not with you per se. How do you guys deal with that? What is your take on that? Do you accept the child as is? Do you come in with, restrictions? And, if your own didn't have, and she doesn't want any, how do you feel about that too as well? And she already has.
I'm actually in a situation, my wife's situation, we was actually like a Brady Bunch with one child each, where she has a daughter and I had a son, and we intertwined and became one family. But at the first coming in, when you meet somebody and they have a child, you're a little apprehensive at first, because knowing that this isn't your child, you don't know how they was raised, you don't know, you got to take time to kind of like feel them out. So when I definitely first got into a relationship with my wife, I took time to feel out my daughter now, Christina, and it wasn't matrimonious at the beginning, I think she was a little territorial when I first came in, This was a new guy she seen, coming around her mom in the household, so she was a little standoffish. I was a little standoffish too, But then as we took time, I realized if I wanted to be with her mother, this is definitely going to have to be a package deal. I don't want her mother without her. You understand what I'm saying? Or vice versa. So I knew in order for it to work and to be prosperous, I had to work things out and form a relationship with my daughter. And to this day right now, she's here right now while we're taping, and we have a wonderful relationship. But it took time. There was a lot of bumps. There's a lot of bruises. We had to get to know each other, and it was a growing process. And the key to us growing and becoming one happy family is her mother gave me the keys. She said, okay, I want you to do all you can to, help Christina grow as a child and grow as your child, meaning there was no restrictions even as far as discipline. You understand what I'm saying? And that's key, because in a lot of situations where it doesn't work, sometimes the woman that comes in with the kid, she says, listen, do not touch my kid or do not speak to my kid a certain way.
It can cause a conflict.
Right.
But you also got to look on the aspect of if the child has, the father that's very involved, and then now the mother is dating and she's now with someone else, you have the father giving, feedback on that, and like, I don't want your dude to
do this,
to do
that.
this and to do this and do this, and that can also affect and trigger your relationship as well, because it's like, how do you maneuver that in certain ways? Because now you have to, like, the woman now have to be like two people, because you want your relationship to work with your current person that you're with, but you're also trying to respect the fact that the father also wants to be, the father and be able to discipline his child and say certain things to the child. And it's hard on the man, I think. It then becomes a difficult task. Like, I love this girl and I want to be with this girl, but then how do I be, this is still my home. This is still my sanctuary. This is where I be. And I cannot have her child just doing whatever he or she wants to do.
Yes,
and how
Yes, I believe so. If you don't make that connection with the child, I don't believe the relationship could ever grow. It's always going to be something. You understand?
And it's kind of reverse for me, as far as my fiance. She has a son. Right now he's turning 18 this week. My hands was tied. I couldn't. The reins wasn't given to me nothing.
The reins wasn't given to you.
It wasn't given to me. It wasn't. It was more or less like, you got to build a relationship with him, this, that, and the third. But it's like, I can't. If I don't feel like I can't stop him from doing wrong. How can this be a relationship? I'm gonna be in the stand watching you. I'm gonna be in the like a cheerleader or something.
So he wasn't allowed to discipline him, basically, what you're saying.
Couldn't do nothing. And he was doing some wild stuff. He done some wild stuff, but he was doing it. He was more or less rebelling.
Outreach.
To it was more of a rebellion because he was raised around his mom and nothing but women, and seeing me come. But everything was kind of cool in the beginning until his mother was about to have the baby, and then once the baby was born, that was it. It was like he stopped talking to me. Till today he don't talk to me, but it's different though. It's different because we have an understanding now. You know what I'm saying? But my thing growing up is that even from in my 20s, I never used to deal with women who had kids. I never did. I would always promote that woman with the child's father. Not thinking about how bad the situation would be, but I would always think that the child's better with his father and mother. So I was always like maneuver around that.
I mean, that's naturally how it should go in life. The woman is supposed to be with the father and the child, but we're not living in a perfect world, and it doesn't always work out like that. So we have to make adjustments.
And that could have been just me being naive, just thinking like, all right, this has to happen this way. But then thinking
especially as you get older, the chances of that happening is less than likely.
I think also it's conversations that needs to happen. Like when you come in and you're dating someone and you have children, I personally feel like the guy, because I can only speak on that aspect, you have to be able to be like, that's where I want to be. One, you have to want to be in there, right? Because she has children. There's nothing you could do. She has children. Now, how are we going to deal with this? You got to sit down and have these conversations. You can't come in and just trying to just control the household and the kid never, had that before. That's also a shakeup for the kid. Like, my mom never told me this, or I never had to do this, and now you're coming in and giving all these rules. I feel like you should have conversations. You can't just come in and just be like, I am the man. I am here with your mother now, and that's it. There's no kid that's just going to take it because you weren't there. Unless you was with her when the baby was like a little baby. And,
it's an easier transition, yeah.
It's an easier transition. Yeah. But when you have a kid that can talk, and can verbalize and can speak their mind and be able, and it was just them and their mom. You have to be able to have conversations.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's true.
I believe that's true because on the other side, my wife had to get adjusted to my son, Manny, that's somebody that she never met before. And all of a sudden, I'm coming there, and my son is coming there every weekend. And, first she was a little apprehensive on how she spoke to him and things as such. When anything went on and I was out the house, she used to call me, and be like, so-and-so, and I would call him. And then after a while, I had to do the same. I had to say, listen, man, if anything's going wrong, you got to speak to him now. You just can't call me every time. Unless it's something major. But, my son pretty much knows the rights and wrongs, the ins and outs, and things that he's supposed to do. And if things is going a little out of bounds, you say, listen, man, you need to, slow down or take a step back, so and so, without me having to call me all the time. And eventually we got to that point. You understand?
Nice,
And
nice.
luckily I have good kids, It made it a lot easier,
That's
Nice.
good.
Now, how
You're
about
blessed
you?
in that in that
Yeah.
aspect.
How
Yes.
about you? As a are you more protective? Like, say, you have children, and say a man come into your life. Are you more like, oh, your guards is up, to like, okay, how do you expect him to handle your kids? Like, say he walks in and he sees one of your kids cursing at you. What? I mean, obviously at that point he's not gonna really do nothing. But I'm saying, like, the conversation afterwards. Suppose he comes into a hypothetical. Yo, I should have said this, that, and the third. What are you gonna say?
I mean, I had situations, but I feel like one is a lot of adjustment I had to do. One, because bringing somebody around my kid, that means I really like you. That's one. Because now you're around my kids. And two, I also had to let my guard down because being a single female, I have my rules set and I have things the way that I do it. And I'm not saying that the way I do it is the right way, but it's just the way that worked for us. So now, bringing someone around, I would expect you to tell me what you think and what you don't think. Like, no, I wouldn't go with this. I wouldn't expect you to just jump in, because now I'm gonna look at you sideways. Like, really, you just jump in and yell at my kid, or curse my kid out or something like that. But I expect you to say, listen, I don't like this. We got to talk about that. Like, I don't like this. I understand that you did this way, but this is not going to work for me. This is the way I view this. So I don't like the way your kid do this, or this and that. Let's have a conversation about it, and let's come to a mutual ground, because you have to build a relationship with my child, knowing that you're going to be around, that your word stands ground. You can't just come in right off the bat and do that. One, is going to cause conflict between me and you, and it's going to cause conflict between the child. But I'm open to you talking to me and telling me, listen, I don't like the way your son did this, or I don't like the way this is not going to work here. This is not going to happen. I'm not comfortable with that, or this. And then we can build a relationship, so you can go to him yourself and you can say, listen, this is not going to work. You can't have your friends in here. You can't have certain things that's going to happen.
Yeah,
And I think the kid can reciprocate that a little better.
Yeah, I think what happens when a man comes into a relationship and the woman has a boy, he feels automatically he will be able to relate to the boy better than the mother. Therefore, he's going to be quicker to put his 2 cents in, because he's probably figure out, well, she probably doesn't have the understanding of what it takes to raise a boy. If you understand, you understand what I'm saying?
But it's how you go about it where the conflict comes in. And then keep in mind, I feel like men, when you come into a female's life and you have children too, and you have the kid in their life too as well, if things doesn't work out, most men exit the kid's life. And it was just for a moment or a thought. And that also, then,
That's
I'm just
tough.
saying,
Yeah, that's
as the
tough.
mother dates or she go on, it makes it harder for maybe Mr. Right to then come in, because
That's true.
you was dating me. You wasn't just dating me. You was dating my kid too. And it's vice versa, because if I'm dating somebody with children or whatever, he could have 10 kids. Once I put myself with him, I put myself with those 10 kids. So if they need shoes, we gonna figure it out. If they need a hat, we gonna figure it out. Because that's what you do when you love somebody. You don't just love them part-time. So you love them full. So I love every part of you. That means all those 10 kids are my 10 kids too as well. So I would want you to do the same. And if things don't work out with us, and you just go on living your next life with a next kid or whatever the case may be, don't forget the way that you touched that kid when you first came in. Because I would not forget about your kid.
That could be awkward.
It's not awkward because
from a man's point of view, it could be
how
awkward.
how is it okay? My baby father
yeah.
has how many children, and I was with those kids when they were little. They're big people now, and they still call me Miss Sherryann. Hi, Miss Sherryann, how you doing? I love you. I love them too. I'm not in their life as going to everything, but I impacted their life somehow. So I still, if I see them on the road or if I see them on social media, I'm saying hi. If they come to see their sister, I'm giving them a hug because they meant something to me. There's a difference in keeping in contact, and there's a difference in completely disappearing.
All right. So,
I feel that would be awkward. I think after a while, especially after the man moves on and he gets in another relationship, it's going to be pretty hard for the woman he's dating now or married to explain why he's still
in contact.
in
To say
constant
hello?
contact. Now, naturally, I think eventually the relationship will probably never end, but it is going to decimate as the time goes by.
It will, but you can still
No,
say
I'm not
you
saying
can
anything
still
is wrong. Of
say
course, I could
you
always
can
say
still
hi and
say
be cordial
hello
when I see the
because
child.
I don't go by their house
Yeah.
and I don't we're not talking on the phone and we're not but it just so happened that I share a brother, well, in my situation shares a child. So that's their brother, that's their sister.
For life, yeah, for
so
life,
for
yeah.
that's for life. So wherever I see them, I'm always gonna
Of course,
say
I'll always be
hi
cordial.
or whatever the
Yeah.
case may be.
Yes.
But any ex or anybody that's talking, if they had children, if I see them, I'm gonna hug them and say hi. I'm just saying that
Sure.
some men or some women just forget about the kids.
You mean completely would see the kid and not
yeah,
say nothing to the kid?
yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's
Listen,
extreme.
It's like
That's very
hey,
extreme.
well, I'm not with your mother no more, so that's what it is.
Oh,
and
no,
I
I
just
didn't
feel
understand.
like
That's
at some
extreme.
point you was close to that child. I'm not saying go by. Let me just clarify. I'm not saying keep in contact, calling on the phone, going by,
Okay.
buying food,
All right, all
buying
right.
clothes. I'm not saying that because that's no longer your job.
All right.
That part just went away, and any woman could respect that. I think a real woman could respect that.
But sometimes you gotta do a healthy retreat. Healthy retreat, be like, okay, listen, I'm not dealing with you, and you. I'm out of here. You gotta for the
Wow.
comfort of your own.
Clean breakaway.
I'm out of here. Deuces. You. I mean,
Wow.
listen. That
Hey, that could be helpful sometimes.
Yeah.
Because if you're still in contact, it still could confuse the child.
Yeah,
thinking
and
it's still, and as you fade away slowly,
let him
the child
miss
could
you.
feel.
Let him or her miss you.
But I don't think keep in contact. I don't think like text or call. I'm just saying once you see the kid,
Oh, always cordial.
You can
Yeah, of
always
course
be
you could say
cordial
hello.
because at some point that kid, you like the kid at some point.
Yeah, but you like the woman at one point too, even more than the kid, and y'all sometimes.
So you can walk down the street and not say hello.
No,
you
but
can see a kid that you used to be with a woman and not say hi.
No. The child is innocent.
But
The child is
Always.
the child
that's
is
what I'm
innocent.
saying.
True. The child is innocent. But I mean, to go out your way to say hello and stuff.
No, I didn't say go out my way.
But if
I
you
said
pass them, if you pass them, hey, what's up?
If
Boom.
I go to something and I see the child, I'm gonna hug you. I'm going to say hi.
Nothing wrong
I'm
with that.
going to say
Right.
how are you. I'm not going to keep the conversation going. I'm not gonna say, oh, let's meet up for tea or whatever the case may be.
Right,
But
right.
this was a child that I once knew as a baby. This is one child that I once said hi to. Yes, I'm definitely going to say hello. We did not.
Understandable.
We broke up. But me and the child didn't break. We wasn't in anything.
You see, now that's the thing about you not only invested in the women, you invested in the children too. And it's like, that's a difficult thing, man. And that's why it's always smart to understand the role when you're going in a situation and the magnitude of what can happen. This kid's going to look for you for guidance or so forth and so on. And then, God forbid, things don't work. You're going to have to sever ties.
But that's the thing about relationships. When you go into a relationship, is what do you? What's your end game? I said that to someone. When you first meet somebody, automatically you know whether or not you want to smash the person, whether you want to take them out for a second dinner or lunch, or whether you want to go in. You can't do a pretense because the pretense can help. It can hurt along the long run.
I don't think all men go into relationships like that. I didn't go into it thinking, sometimes you just think it might be a smash and then it grows to something else. You understand?
Yeah.
Or so
It's like
forth.
never no potential thing. I mean, usually with men, it's never no potential thing. It's
Yeah,
never.
actually, with my wife, I didn't know it was going to be anything at all at first, and it was actually mute for like a month or two, and then it actually ended up growing. And I had no dreams that it would grow to anything. It was a total surprise to me. You
And
understand?
it's actually sometimes it's like that, like in your mind, like say you run up on a bad chick. You be
sometimes
like,
it's the opposite.
You be
think
like,
that's the one.
nah.
Yeah.
You could be like, I know this ain't gonna go nowhere because you be like inside your insecurity be like, I ain't gonna be able to hold all of this down. You know what I'm saying?
Until you get to know the person.
I mean, but it's you can know her, but like
Off the visuals without even speaking.
Yeah, it's like, all right, a lot of people gonna be hollering at it. You can't, you know.
We do think about things.
Yeah,
like
like
that.
why? Like, why put yourself through it? You know what I
She's
mean?
going to be high maintenance.
Yeah,
sort of way.
yeah.
I mean financially buying her, just attention wise.
But women, we get shot down. Like I get shot down all the time because they feel like I'm unapproachable, and I'm really a nice girl if you get to know me. But if you don't get to know me,
wait. You actually trying to tell me that you get shot down by a guy, Sherryann? There's no way I'm going to believe that.
Shot down in what? To what capacity? What are you talking about? You meaning you're talking to them and then they shooting you down?
No, I've gotten shot down by a gentleman who turned around and said that he likes me. He thought I was a pretty girl. However, I'm just too much to handle. He's just like, no.
Oh, you just took one shot. I took numerous shots over life.
So I'm sitting there like, what's too much? Because I stand and I don't really speak and I just stay in my corner. But if you get to know me, you might have, not saying, it's anything, but you might. It could have, you don't know. But just to look at me and be like, oh, well, I look like I'm too much. I've had people say, well, you live on your own. You have your own place. You work. You got a good job or whatever. They don't want to talk to me.
They're intimidated.
They don't want to talk to me. But it's like, but then if you're not independent, how do I live? How do I live? Would you want me living in a room with a little bed on the side, watching TV?
Not me. I'm just going from their perspective. That's how guys think now.
Men,
not me. I would want that.
Yeah, some men would be looking at stuff as like, hold on, that's too much for me.
Yeah.
Like you have your own, then what can I do for you?
What could I bring to the table?
Yeah, so it's like, and then it's gonna be put pressure on them. If you have this, and they don't have that, they're gonna be like, whoa, okay, she's gonna hold it against me, some form of fashion. She's gonna look down on me. They're gonna start feeling me. What's that?
Insecurities.
Yeah, but then I get it, but it's at the same time for women that do have their own and are able to hold their own. It makes it harder in a dating life to find the one because you get shot down just because you were able to accomplish certain things.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's about how much men get shot down by their women who's like, say she's successful, she has her own this and own that. It's like, y'all, a lot of times, not gonna say y'all, women, they don't go down. They don't go down like in class. Men always go down. We can always find a girl who can work in like Pathmark or something like that, even if we got a good job. Women's gonna maintain at that height or go higher, majority of the time.
I would want to just talk to somebody who has a job.
You're gonna say just a job. If he's working in a Stop and Shop, it's cool.
That's fine. That's his job. He has an income, right?
Okay.
The important thing is that you have what? A job. That's my thing. You can do something.
But you see, I think the difference with you is that you're West Indian. I think that's a different type of feeling. Like, you know what I mean? West Indians come from a place of like grinding. So like work is work. But the stubborn Americans, you see them on the YouTube.
Said stubborn.
I just feel like if a man has a job, I feel like we can go someplace and we could do certain things. And if you have the ambition to keep going, we can make anything happen. I got 50 cents, you got 50 cents. Okay, we got $1, and we can maneuver and we can go where we gotta go. But if you're not doing nothing, no, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to Laos. I'm sorry, don't talk to me. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to anybody that just want to sit around and don't want to do anything and waiting for me to work to then ask me, well, you want this or you want that. I didn't get up every morning and go bust my skin and doing the job that I do to take care of no one. I'm sorry. No.
Understandable. Now, we was talking about investing into our kids, such Now, what about the people that over-invest into the happiness of the kids? I'm talking about couples that actually stay together knowing that the relationship is done just for the sake of the kids, like try to wait it out till like the kids go off to college and move out. Is that something you would invest into, staying together just for the sake of your kids, keeping them happy, not giving them any trauma? Is that
I
something you think?
wouldn't.
I'm tell you me, like right now, like when situation, if like I'm in a horrible situation, and me and my fiance, knock on wood, it's not happening, but like my daughter's at this age now, she's 6.
Yes.
I mean, say if a situation is going on, I would not take it further. I would not try to make it a bad situation. I would stay for my daughter. When like
So
say
you
on
would
the
stay
normal,
into the relationship even though you're not happy?
I would normal circumstances, without no children, no, I'm out of there. ASAP, I'm gone. But like far as you got kids, you gotta make some
But are you
sacrifices.
really and truly happy? Is your kid really seeing a happy home?
Yeah, I mean,
what
true.
values are you showing her or him at that point? Because you're not happy, and happiness, when you're not happy, it shows in different ways. It can show,
Body
I
language.
come in,
Yeah.
you could just be angry just because you're in a home that
Yeah.
just doesn't have the happiness. So is your child really seeing mom and dad happy? We got to think about what trauma does that affect the kids too. Okay, they come in and they see their mom and dad in one household, but the household is filled with nothing but noise or argument.
Negativity, sleeping in
Right.
different
And
rooms.
if it's that bad,
if
if it's
I
that
don't
bad,
feel
then yeah, you're right.
I don't want to stay with you if it's just not happening, because
Right.
at the same time, we're not cuddling, we're not talking, we're not laughing, we're not joking. Your kid is not seeing you joking around. They're seeing you arguing over the slightest thing. When you don't like somebody, you walk in and you could have put your shoes the same place for 10 years and it never
person get
bothered you.
upset, yeah.
But the one time that you
Right.
guys are not on that level, now that same shoes
It's
is
a
bothering
problem.
you.
Yeah.
And
It's
then
a
it
problem.
becomes a thing. I don't want to be in no relationship that nobody don't want to be in a relationship with me. That's one. I don't want to be in a relationship with like that. I'd rather go and cry in a corner or cry to my girlfriend or whoever and move on and move past. At least my kid would see me walking in and just being me.
Right. That's according to the circumstance. You're right. It's not, me saying that I would stay for my daughter, but now if I'm staying and there's a bunch of yelling and I'm gonna do disservice.
Still unhealthy, yes,
It's,
yes.
it's very
unhealthy.
unhealthy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's give me high blood pressure and make my daughter get
yeah.
all emotional. But
And that's what she's going to grow up seeing or thinking that is the way that a household should be. And that is not the way a household should be.
right. And but a lot of times to me is this. I don't know, man. I don't want to sound like I'm bashing
Speak your piece, boy.
the baby mamas, the baby mama dramas. They always want to put a monkey wrench in. They change the game in the 4th inning or something. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, soon as you are like actually think you're lying, shit go left. They want to do this, they want to do that, and God forbid y'all get into a serious argument. They're gonna use that child as like a battle ram against you, kid. They're gonna smash you around left and right.
I think baby mothers who do that, they still love their man. There's a part of them that there's a lot of anger issues built up inside of them. The fact that you moved on, the fact that you are living a different life, the fact that that's where that's coming from. Because if you don't have nothing, if you guys just don't get along or whatever the situation that tore y'all apart and y'all have a child, you should just be able to do what you got to do for your kid and that's it. And the minute that you're giving him a hard time, you still have feelings for him. There's a part of you that still have feelings for him, and the fact that you seeing him, that's angering you. And then you're taking it out on the kid.
What's your thoughts, Sterling?
Now, as far as I wouldn't stay in a relationship for the kid's sake to sacrifice my happiness. I believe, the kids are going to grow and they're going to have their own lives one day. And like you said, this is one of the situations where I think it's better to make a clean escape, clean cut, and maybe they'll get. I'm serious. Yeah,
Exactly. Retreat.
Yeah, a retreat. But I would give the child an explanation, and I said, listen, me and mom tried, but it's not working out, so and so. But I'm always going to be there. I'm just going to be staying at a separate location, and we're going to be living our lives. And daddy's always going to be there for you, and therefore move on with my life and put my happiness first.
Yeah.
Because I don't think you ever supposed to put anybody's happiness before yours.
And if you're not happy, you can't make anybody else happy.
The only happiness comes first is your children, maybe. Your children, maybe.
From age 1 to 16.
Yeah. Then you're on your own.
After that.
When
After
you're on
that,
your own.
yeah.
Then it's ta-ta. Yeah.
I think you have to be happy. You have to be happy first.
Yeah.
In order to show your kids happiness, and you have to. If you are a parent, you're coming in,
Of course.
and you're unhappy every day, or you're sad every day, or whatever your situation may be. It's hard to love your child and to give that child that nurture that they need. So you need to make yourself happy first,
of course.
so that you can be the best parent that you can be.
Say somebody like you in a relationship and they say you don't make me happy. What do you say to them?
I chop it up. It is what it is. All right.
I'd say, listen, that's not my job to make you happy. You're supposed to find happiness in yourself.
No, first of all, if a guy tells me I'm not making him happy, all right, it is what it is. Next, I'm not sitting here losing sleep over anything, because if I can't figure out what makes you happy, or you're not willing to sit on a table with me to figure out what makes you happy, then there's nothing I can do. You're talking air.
Right.
There's nothing you could do. I don't know how you guys feel. You guys are both in you're married, you have a fiance, but I feel like if I'm with a guy and he turns around and says, "Chef Berry, you don't make me happy," I can ask you, "Babe, well, what happened, or how could I?"
Yeah.
And if you're not willing to sit on the table and tell me or try to work it out, that means mentally you're already checked out, and there's nothing I could do about it.
Yeah. I feel the same way. Now, if you come to me and say you're unhappy, first thing I'm going to say, elaborate. You know?
Yeah, I would like
let's
to
get
know.
deep in there. Why? And if it's something that could be easily fine-tuned, and sometimes you do things that you don't even realize, and
Right.
sometimes it needs to be brought to your attention.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
Because you don't see yourself how other people see you sometimes. And
Right.
sometimes somebody needs to tell you, listen, when you do this, so and so, and you might look at it and you say, you know what? You're right. You're right.
And you also have to be open to talking about that too.
Yeah.
And I think in relationship we don't talk, right? We don't always have a conversation, and we get into habits. Like, okay, you live with the person, or you guys or whatever, and you get up in the morning. It's like the same routine. It's like a routine behavior.
Yeah.
But certain things that I do might have annoyed you or turned you off. If you don't speak to me about it, I'm going to continue to do
And
it
it's
because
only
I
gonna get
never
worse.
knew that
Yeah.
that was a problem in the first place.
True.
And
Communication.
me
You know?
personally, somebody say like my fiance, we had a rough patch and she said she wasn't happy. I don't look at myself.
You have
I
to
say
look
to
at
her,
yourself,
no,
Monty.
this is what I say. I say, so what you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
That's your responsibility.
No. I'm not looking at. I'm looking at like, what are
But
you
you-
gonna do?
But you gotta.
What do
you
you-
gotta
I mean, is she
ask
willing to
what-
work it
What's the
out?
question? What's
No,
the reason
no,
why she
meaning-
wasn't happy? That you needed to have that conversation.
Meaning, what's your next step?
Okay, let's just say hypothetically something you got over. At the time she says, well, you're drinking too much. Then what do you do? When she says you drink too much, you're drinking every day, it's becoming a problem in our household. Then what's the next step do you take?
Listen, the next step is like, listen, okay, I understand a little bit, but I'm saying you got to really find happiness within yourself. I'm not going to really tell somebody you don't make me happy. I'm going to make myself happy. No, by any means necessary, I'm gonna make myself happy. But now,
Then why
making
you in a
myself
relationship?
But if she's like say she's like out of bounds doing some wild shit, I ain't gonna say she's not making me. I'm gonna say, yo, you better change that. You better change it.
Change what? Elaborate a little more.
If she says she's out of pocket doing this or doing that, some shit that I don't agree with, it's not gonna make me unhappy. It's gonna make me react. I'm not gonna sit there and just.
But
deal.
then you're not a good communicator.
No.
because
Communication is
you can't
don't do
sit
it.
here- You can't tell me, oh, I'm not happy. What is it that I'm doing that's not making you happy? You have to have that conversation with me, and then depending on the answer that she give, you could then move forward to say, what's your next step? You
Right.
gotta have that conversation.
I just don't like those words. I don't want her coming to me talking about I'm not happy. Fix yourself.
I think she needs a woman, somebody, if they're not happy, I think they need to come and tell you that. I'm open
You know,
to
you always have to sit down and say, what makes my girl happy? You have to say, just the same thing as the woman saying, what makes my man happy? You got to sit down and figure out what it is that makes her. You may think you doing everything
Hey.
right, and she could be like, he's not even hitting it. He's not even
Right.
doing that's making me happy. I'm gonna tell you.
I remember a time, right? Listen, do you see how difficult you women are? Let me tell you. Let me tell you how difficult y'all women are. My fiance was not saying she's not happy, right? She's saying, "Oh, we don't do this, we don't do that," right? A day that we are out about to go get something to eat, she gets into one of these moods about what we don't do. We don't go out. She says that. Why? I said, where are we now? What are we doing? What are we talking about? So
But
it's like it becomes a routine. Y'all women say stuff,
No,
and it's just a routine.
and
and
this is gonna be
and you forget,
Absolutely
forget where you at.
No,
You forget-
absolutely not.
We
You
are
are-
about to walk into a restaurant, but we don't go out. Oh, I'm not talking about right now. So then, what are you talking about?
She's talking about on a basis of the
No.
fact that maybe when y'all met, y'all used to go out and do a lot more things, and then you got to a point in your relationship where you didn't feel like you needed to say, "Get dressed, babe," or "Get dressed up, let's go get something to eat."
It's the
And she
opposite.
probably missed that.
It's the opposite. I mean, Sterling, did you have to rev things up right after you met your woman? Like certain things that you wasn't doing. Then next thing you know, now y'all together, boom, things rocket up 100%.
I think you have to maintain that level that you get.
No,
Thank you.
okay, no. I'm saying, did things go up or it's just leveled off, or was the same?
It's always going to level off at a while, but I think it's your responsibility to have up peaks. Give it a few peaks and
Right.
make sure it never goes past the level
You
off
have
point.
to keep the
You
same
understand?
way.
You gotta keep it the same.
I wasn't dating. We wasn't dating. There's certain things that we was doing in the beginning. It's not happening no more.
Like me and my wife, we go out all the time. We try to have date night at least once a month. I know sometimes we go
Yeah.
through a stretch too, but when it's a good stretch, we might go out 2 or 3 weeks in a row. Understand?
That's
We
what my
like to-
mother-in-law be
You
telling
would
me.
always want to be
Yeah.
attracted to your partner. You always want to be able to keep something going.
Yeah, take
So
the
I
family
don't
out.
want to be coming home every day and we're not doing nothing. But did you cook? Did you do this? Like I want to be able to be like, okay, babe, get dressed, go out, so that the night could be even better because you took me out and we went out. We had a good time. We had our one-on-one time. We did things. Nobody wants to just be regular. It becomes a routine.
Vacationing, things.
Yeah,
that's
like,
good.
let's
Sherry,
do
let me ask
something.
you a question.
Oh boy.
Would you say, right? Would you ever say to a gentleman that you're dealing with, you're unhappy if you are not stepping up 100% for him?
I can say I can have a conversation with him. I can sit around and say to you, babe, I don't like this or I'm unhappy in this area. He can then voice to me certain things that I may be doing
Right.
that he's unhappy about, and then if I want to be with him, I'm gonna step my game up 100% because
Right.
he then put it on the table to say that he doesn't like this or he doesn't like this, and give or take. But I can tell you one thing, Monty, I can give and take. I can do as you ask, but you got to keep your end of the bargain because you're not going to expect me to change 100% and you're sitting back like some king and just accepting everything that I'm doing and you're not doing nothing because I say what another man's trash
Another
It's a-
person's
is
treasure.
another man's
Treasure,
treasure.
yeah.
So you have to be able to pick your battles too when you come on the table. It's a conversation because I'm willing to please my partner at any means necessary because that's who I want to be with. He has to also have that mentality too. I always tell any females, any one of my girlfriends, you got to keep up your looks.
Yes.
You got to
Facts.
make sure that you look good. You got to make sure, don't feel like, okay, you know what, I gained 10 pounds. He didn't meet you 10 pounds heavier. And I'm not saying you're doing things for him. Don't get me wrong, females. I'm saying that sometimes we get so complacent, we get so comfortable that we just, oh, okay, it's all right. So
Yeah.
now I met him with one little stomach. Now I got 10 stomachs.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, he's still coming home and he's still loving. Yeah, because he's with you and he fell in love with the personality and everything. But he's not attracted to the physical part of you anymore because you just gave up on all the things. So you have to get right too. You have to make sure, I always tell my girlfriends, make sure if you like to dress, continue that pattern of dressing and smelling good and keeping your hair and keeping your makeup and keeping him wanting. He knows when you walk outside, somebody was looking at my girl, I gotta keep that inside. I always say that. I always, you walk outside, you always want to look good. You always want him to come home and not always have the hair bonnet like in 4 different directions, you know, and in an old robe and all of this stuff. You can look nice in your home too, and make him want to be like, damn, that's it, I'm home.
Yeah.
Forget it. The phones is locked off. I'm not even talking to my boys or nothing because I just want to be right there.
Yeah.
Facts.
That's
So
always,
I
that's
can
always
I
good.
can do that because I know that's what makes him, you
Happy.
know, happy.
Right.
I can always be that woman that's gonna turn the shower on for you too, and I can be that woman that's gonna make sure and cook a meal and make sure good. But what are you doing?
Yeah. And
What are you doing?
I'm trying to get points with
While
the women
I'm
now.
doing all of that.
I'm gonna get points, men. I think we also need to keep our hygiene up. You know, stay up in the gym, keep that stomach down. You know, things as such like that to keep your woman interested in you too. Offer to take her out every once in a while. You know what I'm saying?
I met
Try
you
to
with
take
no
a
stomach.
vacation.
Now you got
Yeah,
10.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I think us
I
as
don't
men,
like
we need to
men
do
with
the
big
same.
bellies.
Too. You know,
Yeah.
it goes
Gotta
both
keep doing-
ways.
Yeah, you do. You do.
It goes in both ways.
Yeah,
I feel like on a woman point we go,
Yeah.
and on a man point it goes, and that's what makes a relationship. Because relationship is hard. It's not
It's
something
difficult. It's
easy.
not
It's
easy.
it's a hard thing,
Yeah,
and
it's
you
not
gotta
easy.
be in it to really be in it. It's really a hard thing.
It's a fact.
You know,
Relationships
it's
is
not easy.
Yeah.
It's difficult.
It's
give and
not
take.
easy.
I tell
Compromise.
I tell my
It's,
nephew
it's
right
a
now.
lot, though,
Yeah, a
Sterling.
lot.
It's
Yeah.
a lot.
I know. I'm
It's a
13
lot.
years
You
in.
know,
Yeah.
I sit here
Yeah.
and, you know, people be like, you know, you a pretty girl. Why you not wifed up? Well, damn it, it's freaking hard because I'm stubborn in a lot of ways. I'm hard-headed in a lot of ways. You know what I mean? And it's like, as I got older, I have to realize that it's a losing battle because just like you guys say, you got to meet people halfway. It's not about being pretty. It's not about being smart. It's not about it's being able to know what it is to be in a relationship. What it is that you can't just say, I'm in a relationship. You really got to work on your
You
relationship.
gotta be in it to
You
win.
got to be in it to win it.
And that's a constant work in progress.
Yeah, man.
Every
It's
day.
definitely.
Yeah,
Ups
constant
and
work in progress.
downs and loopholes and all of this.
Yeah.
Me
Being able
saying-
to be with him no matter what.
Yeah.
Me- when I'm-
loyalty.
when I'm saying-
What about loyalty?
Oh, loyalty.
Oh, my God.
forget it.
Loyalty.
Loyalty is a big thing.
Big
Loyalty.
thing, especially nowadays. that word has become extinct
Yeah.
in today's society. There's no such thing as loyalty right now.
Loyalty, man. You know.
And that's key. That's
So there are men who say, I want a woman that's loyal to me and will do, and that's, to me, that's being in a relationship. Every man should expect that and should want that, and every woman should expect that. But some men don't do that. They talk a good game in the house and in your face, and outside, they're doing them.
Yeah.
And that's that, and when the woman finds out, it's like, oh, well, you can't expect me to do everything the way you want me to do it, and then you turn around and you're doing the complete opposite in hopes that you don't get caught, in hopes that I don't find out. Then that loyalty for me is like, well, damn, that's going to go out the window because you want me to do everything the way you want me to do it, and you're not giving me that same respect.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sitting around thinking that, oh, this is my man, and I'm devoting myself to him, and, oh, no, I don't talk to nobody, and da-da-da-da. And you out there doing the total opposite of what you just had a whole conversation about coming in this relationship and what you're looking for and what you want.
'Cause, you know, it's rough, man. It's like, but they say you can't reinvent the wheel, man. That's the sign of the time. That's how men are. They're gonna do what they do, and women gonna just do what they do to make them.
Well, women
You
just do what they do. That's new now. That's something new that's become popular over the last few years.
What, women
Before
cheating?
men do what they do, and the woman would stay loyal to the man. But now it seems like women say, you know what, you're gonna
Yeah.
do what you do, then I'm gonna do me too.
But it's about
and
heartbreak,
two
though.
wrongs don't make a right.
Two wrongs don't make a right, but
And
in that-
it looks worse on a woman's part after you try to get even. Then you go out there and you start sleeping
Yeah,
out with
the
numerous
scarlet
men.
letter.
Well, you
Yeah,
don't have to sleep with. You don't have to sleep. Women go out and sleep. You don't have to sleep with anyone. But I'm
Or
just
even
talking-
entertain.
Just talking to people or whatever the case may be. This ties back to the fact of, you know, maybe not getting the attention or whatever she needed or at home or whatever the case may be. So she's out there doing whatever she's doing. That's all in relationship. The whole point is, if you want to be in a relationship, you have to be able to be like, I'm not doing that. Like, that person is the only person that I want to do these things with.
Yeah, you gotta find that comfort in yourself, man. To like easy, like, you know, hang up them shiny shoes. You know what I'm saying? And put on house slippers. People gotta be at that time of their life they're ready to just quit. You know, it's not easy, man. It's definitely not
And we
easy.
getting older. So
It's
at a
not
point
easy.
in time, your knee gonna hurt a little bit.
Yeah.
You know,
it
your
ain't
shoulder
easy.
gonna hurt a little bit,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you're gonna need somebody to be there for you and to be that person. So it's all good when you go outside and girls is checking for you and all of that. But then what happens when life gives you that wheel
Right. That's
and
what
it change?
that's what Sterling was talking about when you're
Yeah.
talking about your friend in the
Yeah,
hospital.
you don't want to be the old nigga in the hospital with a stroke. Don't got nobody to wipe your ass. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You want to.
You don't want that. You don't want that.
Yeah,
You
it's,
definitely don't want that.
I feel, and I don't think sometimes people think that far along, and that's where the sad part comes in.
Right.
You know,
Yeah,
because I don't
definitely.
think that people think along the line like this
They
is
don't
gonna happen.
measure
'Cause
that.
right now I'm strong and I'm up and I'm
Yes,
healthy
yes.
and I'm moving about and this and this and that. But you know, sometimes God just gives you a shake up.
Yeah.
And when he gives you that shake up, it's like, okay, I need that significant person that's going to be there for me, that has that loyalty for me, that's going to wipe me, clean me, feed me,
Yeah.
be there,
Groom you.
and build me back up.
Yeah.
That's, you know, that's the type of person. But I haven't found that.
Yeah.
So yes, y'all, tuned into the Your Opinion Doesn't Matter podcast. We've touched on some real topics. I would also like to talk about the game, Your Opinion Doesn't Matter game,
Awesome game, man. That's
Yeah,
the
man.
best game. Family gatherings.
right? And the thing about the game is that 2% of people in the United States are African Americans, under 2% that make games, and I'm proud to be one of them.
Wow, that's a
Only
big accomplishment, man.
It's,
Yeah.
it's like it's a
Yeah.
But we need the people out there. Come check this game out. Money back guarantee. No, I'm joking. Nah, but I'm saying you're gonna love this game, man. It's a constant thought-provoking debate formatted game. You can get this at www.yodm.com. And we're gonna have a game night. We're gonna have a game night. We're gonna film it, see how everybody feel about it. But
Looking
this
forward
game,
to it. Looking
this
forward
game
to it.
here is for Sherryann.
Oh, wow. Definitely going to check it out.
Right,
Yes,
right,
yes,
right.
I know my friends would love it.
Yes.
And
yes,
this will be a good debate.
Yes.
Yeah, and you have a lot of fun, man. It's like the different topics, social matters, sex and lies, politics, sports, entertainment, and the isms. But
Yes.
there's one thing that's real, like, to make you really think, and it's a for it or against it, right? And that's a topic, and it comes with a dice. And what it is, say it's a question that you're usually for it. Now you roll a dice, and then you say against it. You gotta argue from a different perspective in 30 seconds. See, this
Wow.
is not a right or wrong game. It's an opinionated game.
Yes.
And this is going to force you to hear other people's perspectives and accept it. Accept it, but it doesn't mean that they're going to win the argument. Other people will vote on who wins. But it's a very nice game, and I would like for the people to bring it to their house and tell me about it.
Okay. And where would we be able to find this game, Monty, in case we're interested in purchasing it?
Yes, you could go to www.yodm.com,
Yeah.
or you could contact anybody here.
Yes.
We have it.
Fully endorsed
Yes.
by Black Jesus.
And would love your opinion too on it. Like
Yes.
once
Yeah.
let us know how you feel about the game and spread the word.
Yes.
Spread
Yes,
the
sir.
word.
Under 2% of African American people in the United States.
That's a great accomplishment, man.
So
Kudos to you.
thank you. I mean, kudos when it goes out the roof. When
Yeah.
it's,
It
but
will. We're
It will.
speaking it into
you
existence.
speaking it in
Yes.
the air, man,
Yes.
because you
Yes.
know what? Every household needs this game, man. Trust me. If you like our conversation, this right here is a true sermon. If you want to get to know somebody and you want to hear their perspective on certain things, trust me, this is going to bring everything to light.
Definitely.
Everything to light.
Well, I'm gonna say it's been a pleasure
Yes.
being with these two gentlemen, very smart gentlemen. And I love the
Don't
fact
forget
that they two very handsome gentlemen. It's a pleasure being able to be asked to be on a podcast and being able to be on very great topics. It's also a learning opportunity for me. And just getting to know, how a thought process are differently. I hope that everyone that listens to the podcast gets an insight on it and enjoy the topics that we're talking about. They're two great guys. So when they talk, they're talking about everything in their life, in our lives, in out life, period.
Yes,
So
all life
it's just
experiences.
a great opportunity to be here and be able to be a part of this. Monty's on Great Things. Sterling is one of my best cousins. So, I do enjoy you guys. And hopefully we can just keep going with this and get insights on this.
Right.
Yeah,
a little bit
likewise.
more.
Likewise, I'd like to thank all the people that took time to listen to our previous
Yes.
podcasts and subscribe and give us all the input. People that
It
left
meant a lot.
comments. Yeah, we thank y'all, and we wouldn't be anything without y'all. And we pray y'all keep supporting us, and we're going to give y'all the best of us.
Right.
Thank you. We
and it's
appreciate
the community, man. You can't look at it. It's just us. It's everybody. It's the community, man. Because I mean, we saying things that y'all probably thinking.
Yes.
And and then y'all are gravitating towards it. And I appreciate Sherry Berry, and I appreciate Sterling. I appreciate y'all for taking a
Likewise.
step. And then we making a movement. We're making a movement. And again, like Sterling said, without y'all, there's not gonna be no us. And y'all really showed up for our last show. It was really
Stay tuned. We got a lot more coming.
we have
too.
a lot more, and then
Yeah.
pretty soon we're gonna open it up and have people call in or actually submit some questions.
Yeah.
And if you want us to go a direction of the podcast to talk about certain things, just let us know. But also Sherry Berry, they was also saying that we could have elaborate on certain things.
Yes.
But it's like we're crunched for time, so we just hit certain things and then we got to keep
Can't
it
hit
moving.
everything.
We can't.
I think the audience was so intrigued. At
Yeah.
least everyone that listened was intrigued by our last
Yes.
conversation
Yes.
and wanted us to elaborate more on it. And I think we will give you guys that.
Yeah.
We may not be able to give it
In one podcast. Yes.
but we can definitely elaborate and would love your feedback. I can't
Right.
wait for
Yeah.
the day that we can get a podcast going where you can actually call in and give your views as we're speaking,
Yeah.
to know what you guys are thinking, because a lot of, my peoples was asking about that too as
Right.
well.
Yeah,
so
Yeah, we're gonna
we
set
could
that
work
up.
on things as long as you guys keep supporting. Then you'll be able to get a little bit more in depth into it.
Yeah,
Yes.
you could be at our front door knocking in and say, "Hey, I have a question for y'all for Dr. Lamont." You know what I mean?
That's it.
Self-proclaimed Dr. Lamont.
Yeah, I look forward to us having some very intriguing guests in the future too.
Yes,
I think
yes.
we're going to take a turn to that
And we-
soon. Yeah,
We're gonna have him in the hot seat or the cold seat, whichever seat, whatever the topic is. Trust me.
All right.
Trust us.
All right.
Trust us.
all right.
Trust the process.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
this is the Your Opinion Doesn't Matter podcast, and we are outie.
Peace.
Peace. Peace. Peace.